right, we're live.
It says I cannot stream when you're using a reusable studio. That's weird.
Oh, yeah, because everybody else is streaming, so we're streaming on 6 channels now. Yeah, it's just yours that's weird.
I'm not. No, I'm on a completely different setup right now. I'm on a different computer.
Are you sure you paid for StreamYard?
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
They don't take TITANX, so I don't,
Maybe some Doge. Look into it.
All right, so in this stream, because you guys were on other stream, what were you talking about? Because I wasn't able to catch up to that one.
It was just talking about general markets. We kind of opened up with looking. We noticed the buy and burns were kicked up. The V1, TITANX V1 is running. The hyper buy and burns running. Eric did not kick his on. He's still waiting. Yeah, and then we were just kind of talking about just general markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Yep. Okay, nice. Yeah, Ethereum is running, which is great because the buy and burns have gained roughly
Almost
$5-7 million.
Yeah, probably more. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so we have a lot of firepower.
Yeah.
All by design. So the firepower is good. And then, so I'm going to start the marketing for Shogun because it is very close. So UI is done, almost done. Contracts have been tested. So we're going into audit, which shouldn't take long. And then Shogun is going to be the first BuildOnX28 protocol. So people are going to be able to enter the auction for Shogun. So Shogun is going to be a hyper-deflationary protocol with a set distribution day, very similar to Volt. So Volt had 10 days. Shogun is going to be 28 days because we want to get in basically max adoption. Because the point of Shogun is to have liquidity webs with the entire BuildOnTITANX ecosystem, very similar to Element 280. And the cool thing about Element 280 is Element 280 did roughly $3 million a day in volume during the minting phase.
Dang.
70% of that being arbitrage bots solely, not the buy and burns, because the prices were so out of whack across all pairs. So Shogun is going to essentially capitalize on that. We're going to create pairs with everything in the ecosystem. So to enter Shogun, you're going to need either liquid X28 or a TITANX stake. So with a TITANX stake, you'll be able to burn your stake to go into the auction. You'll get one-to-one value. So one of the cool things that we did in the auction is, so you go in with liquid X28 or TITANX stake. When you go in with, for example, 100 billion TITANX stake, you have to supply 100 billion TITANX liquid to be able to enter the auction, because otherwise the mechanics break and the math doesn't make sense. So half goes towards buying and burning Shogun and doing some other stuff, which is going to be clear in the white paper, and also liquidity webbing. So the stake gets burned. The 8% dev reward from the stake also goes towards the buy and burn, and the other 50% of the TITANX buys X28, buys Shogun, burns it, which constantly breaks the ARP ceiling on X28. And then the other side of it is you can also enter with liquid X28. Now, liquid X28, the interesting thing that we did in the auction is we made it one-to-one value with TITANX. So, for example, if X28 is trading at 0.9 TITANX per X28, that's a 10% discount on the one-to-one rate. You can get 100% of the value in the auction, which is like a social consensus of, hey, this is worth 1 TITANX. So if it's trading below 10, you can essentially get a 10% free ROI on your auction by entering with X28 if it's off peg. And if it's above peg, people just arbitrage it and mass burn supply of TITANX.
People just love arbitraging in general too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like the 28-day mint phase. That's legit. I really was happy with that length of time. So yeah, it's cool to see that you're doing that same model, because I did like it.
Oh yeah. So the other thing with Shogun is, so there is going to be an 8% transfer tax on Shogun. That is primarily going to be used for arbitrage bots.
Yeah.
So since Shogun is going to have roughly 35 pairs across the entire ecosystem, 35 plus, probably more going into the future. But it's going to have 35 pairs which constantly have different prices. So arbitrage bots will run through those pairs, every time paying the transfer tax. So the transfer tax, Shogun will have a very similar system to Volt. So Volt, the way Volt does perpetual auctions, is it buys supply off a market and then auctions it off into the future. That's your future auction supply. So it doesn't come from inflation, it comes from supply bought off market. Shogun is going to have the same. But Shogun feeds it a couple ways. Shogun also feeds it through the transfer tax. So with the transfer tax, 3% goes to liquidity wallet, to liquidity web, the ecosystem. 47% of the Shogun from the taxes gets burned. And the other 50% goes to the war chest. The war chest is essentially the perpetual auction for Shogun. So the arbitrage bot will be buying and feeding the war chest. Will be essentially be burning Shogun. So you can do the math. If 70% of the volume on element 280 was arbitrage bots, because I was watching the transactions very closely because I'm like, hey, this is work on Ethereum, and it absolutely does. So that's roughly 2.1 million a day in volume that element 280 had a day. If you do that times 50%, that's essentially $1 million a day of Shogun burned just through arbitrage, not the buy and burn.
Yeah.
And then you also have the other $1 million going into the war chest for perpetual auctions off into the future. And the buy and burn is going to be massively aggressive.
So it's cap supply from the beginning. It's just having like same thing with a vault style where it's a set supply, and then over 28 days you're auctioning off that full supply, and then after that it's going into the war chest. Okay.
So there's 2.8 billion supply that will get. So it's 100 million a day for 28 days, which is 2.8 billion, and then 100 million goes towards liquidity wallet that will set up the initial pair. So we're going to try to get all the pairs live on day one, so the arbitrage boss can get churning from day one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is a really cool idea. And
Yep.
the LP tokens get burned. So we'll set up the LPs and burn the LP tokens. So it's forever locked LP, which also creates something very interesting in the ecosystem. Because Uniswap v2 LP tokens, Uniswap v2 LP positions, they essentially accumulate the fees. So Shogun will also become an indirect supply sink for all the build on TITANX protocols as volume runs through those pairs. For example, Element Shogun, Volt Shogun, X28 Shogun, etc. That is essentially forever supply sink because all the fees get stuck in the pool. So it's making everything else hyperinflationary with it.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. A lot of people were confused with like they're not experienced with the V2 pools. They're like, how do I see my rewards? And like every trade, it's automatically in there. You know, like you're compounding on every trade. So that's what the same thing. Yeah, we burned all the element LPs because you don't have to collect fees. It just adds to it. So yeah, I love it. That's great. Like the arbitrage, I think that's a huge way to get that burning going, no doubt. Like,
oh wait, Ali and Mo's here. Yo, what's up?
All right.
There we go.
You didn't go ahead and give a launch date for Shogun, did you?
He did. Oh.
Soon.
Yeah, you missed it.
Not a date. Did you give a date? Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, you didn't hear him?
No. It's like a protocol every day here, man. What the hell?
Build on X28. X28 is massive leverage on the ecosystem.
Yeah, it really is. I was glad to see that came out so quickly. Yeah, because we were kind of waiting to see a lot of builders talking about it, kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. You know, you'd mentioned a few different things, the things you were thinking about, and we were all kept in the dark yet again, waiting to see what happened. I couldn't believe it. As I woke up and I was like, "What? It's already out." So yeah, nice, simple, straightforward, and everybody has time now. You know, nothing's launched yet. Everybody has time to get their head around it. Yeah, so great move.
Yeah. For people that don't know how X28 works, essentially X28 is omnichain TITANX. It's one-to-one creatable with zero slippage. So if you just go to x28.win, x28.win, if you have 100 billion TITANX, you can turn that into 100 billion X28 just in 12 seconds, as long as it takes to fill a block, essentially. Well, 24 seconds, because you have to do the approval and then you do the transaction. So it's zero slippage, it's one-to-one, and X28 will trade omnichain. So we'll roll out chains slowly as time goes on. There's no rush to do it. Like, we can add any chain we want off into the future. But that's essentially omnichain X28. Now, the cool thing that happens is when people build on X28, for people to create the X28 supply, half of the TITANX used. So if somebody comes in with 100 billion TITANX, 50 billion of that gets burned. They get 100 billion X28, so they don't care. They have that X28. But half of that TITANX gets burned. The other half gets used to buy and burn X28, constantly essentially breaking that ceiling of arbitrage, causing more supply to come in. As TITANX gets scarcer and X28 gets scarcer with it, it pushes both prices up. So it's a very, very symbiotic system. And then the goal is essentially to replace build on TITANX with build on X28, follow all the same rules, just whatever TITANX is, copy, just replace it with X28. So X28 becomes the input token. And that way we essentially can have an omni-chain ecosystem, because the reason at first I was going to do TITANX inside of Shogun, I decided to do X28 because somebody needs to force adoption on X28. So there's enough users for builders to go after. So I'm like, hey, I'll be the dude. I can force everybody to X28.
I don't really think you needed to. I'm pretty sure we're all excited to build on X28, but
Okay.
but I appreciate it.
Yeah. What about this one then? All right. You know, is it better for everybody to focus their attentions on a single chain, or is it better for everybody to spread out and try and, you know, go far and wide? Or do we work together to kind of build another ecosystem out on another chain first? Obviously, you know, you look at the volume on different chains. Obviously, you went to Ethereum and not Pulse chain because of the volume was all there. You know, where do we go next? Is there a benefit? Obviously, everybody's going to do their own thing. Everybody's going to see opportunities in different places. Builders are all going to have their preferred maybe chains to go to. But is there a, you know, if you got an opinion, Jake, on what it's best for? Okay, because the conversation is already fucking starting. We've got 3-4 builds on the go at the minute, and everybody's saying, right, how do we make sure that this is X28 compatible? I know that's not the right question, but it's like, you know, everybody's talking about it already. Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? What's your opinion on what we should? Is there a benefit for us all going to say base, for example, or, you know, what do you think? Anybody got any opinions on that?
I don't think there's a benefit. It's application specific, because we have all the adoption on Ethereum. Ethereum is the big daddy chain essentially of crypto, and as long as people can go anywhere. So I think you'll see different ecosystems form around X28 depending on chain. On Base, you might have like some meme stuff happening. On Orbitum, you might have some DeFi stuff happening around X28. Like every chain kind of has its own vibe. Like if you launch a massive DeFi thing on Base, like it's hard for people to care because it's like a meme coin chain. But on Orbitum, that's kind of like a DeFi chain. So I think you'll see these different ecosystems pop up around X28 on that chain. Now the important thing to know is if, let's say, 1 trillion supply of X28 gets created on Ethereum, and there's 100 billion that exists on Base, that 100 billion comes from Ethereum because that's the only place the supply gets created. That's important to know, which means that any activity of X28 on all these other chains, the value accrues back to Ethereum, which constantly breaks that ARB ceiling. So if there's something crazy that happens on another chain for X28, that is automatically going to impact the price on Ethereum, causing the ARB ceiling to break.
Just explain that. Just explain that in a little bit more detail. When you say, okay, so are you saying that, okay, somebody builds X28 over, uses X28 as the input token on Base. Now you're saying about that, is it if there is a mad, you know, rush, people ban up the price for X28, people are coming in, they're buying it like crazy, pushing the price of it up. Obviously, that's going to accrue back to the value of TITANX on Ethereum. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the X28 on Ethereum. Because if, like, for example, you can have X28 being $1 on Ethereum, that automatically makes X28 $1 on all chains. But then if you have one chain that goes to like $1.20 out of nowhere, arbitrage bots are going to buy it on all the other chains, sell it down on one chain, and then it ends up being like 1.04 on all chains. So the value always accrues to everything because one X28 on Base is the Ethereum X28 essentially. Arbitrage bots already use layer 0 to like omni-chain arbitrage.
I haven't used it yet. Is it quick?
It's pretty quick. It's as quick as a bridge can get.
Hey, so wait, is it on another chain yet? I haven't even seen that. Like so
Nope.
far, it's just on Ethereum, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
First, we need to get adoption on Ethereum, and then we'll start rolling out to other chains.
I guess that kind of answers your question, Ali, right there. Like it's not on every chain right now, so we can't really just branch out. We got to wait for X28 to launch on each chain. So,
I mean, if you're doing a multi-chain thing on top of X28, you're probably best off doing it on Ethereum first, because that's what the community is.
Yeah, and then you can just do the same thing and launch your token on. But he's saying, like, if you've got a project that you want to launch on a specific chain, where do you take it, you know, or I guess just us builders in general, like, do we all target a chain and we all launch our next projects on that specific chain?
This is
Yeah,
fucking exciting now.
Yeah, I'm already looking at adapting stacks to incorporate X28 for sure. That needs to be a thing. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, there's already a bunch of stuff.
Mo's YouTube ban's kicked in. He's not even allowed to speak on YouTube anymore. It's just a video of him sitting there.
Oh, but he's muted.
Not no more.
I'll just let him keep talking.
Yeah.
I'm in my little corner for now.
Mo, you're muted.
No. You need to unplug and plug your microphone back in, I guess. Something.
Mo was like, oh my God.
Like,
we're stressing him out over there.
Yeah, really though. Poor Mo, man.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I don't mean, my mind just started racing whenever I seen that X28 was like, oh, fuck, I better get something built ASAP. But yeah, it's like, okay, take a break. There's plenty of time. So what,
I mean, the simplest thing
right?
is just to swap, instead of using TITANX, use X28 on whatever you're doing. Simple.
Yeah. And so will you switch? I seen on the toggles, the little bridge, obviously they're inactive. Will you just switch them on one by one, or will it be a mad switch everything on type of thing, or will you switch them on one by one?
Probably one by one. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, one by one for sure.
When?
First Ethereum. Let's start there first. So on X28, Shogun is building on X28. There's a Vault builder coming for X28 and Shogun. Titan Farms will likely have X28 pairings. Probably multiple, is my guess, because it makes a lot of sense. And those are three things that are confirmed to be building. And now you guys are talking about building stuff on X28?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
it makes sense. I want to get you want to go and branch out and just, we're having a lot of success doing what we're doing, but we're so untapped into so many places in crypto, not just just other communities, even outside of Ethereum. But it's just going to be exciting to see where everybody decides to go. I mean, technically, you can take anything that we've built already, can be tweaked as input tokens X28 and dropped anywhere else. We've got to, we all have all these projects that are all kind of ready to go. And there's, a few switches in the code base, and we're there. So yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think people, it's gonna click with X28 what happens, because X28 in the first 36 hours burned $350,000 worth of TITANX. There's nothing's even built on it yet. So imagine what that is like once people need X28.
Yeah, I think even Shogun you'll see a mad rush. It'd be good to just see how much of adoption it does get. I didn't bother. I just seen the arbitrage. Like the first morning, I was like, "Fuck, is this thing going to start running?" But obviously, there's no real chance of that. But I was like, I haven't bothered minting any yet. I'll wait until there's something to do it for. So what was the date? I missed it. What was the date?
The
8th of November.
Yeah, of course.
No, for Shogun.
Oh no! I was messing with you. There's no date.
Yeah.
Nah, X28 launched 8th.
Oh man, Helios, when is it going? X28 soon. We're working on stacks right now. That's next in the pipeline. And then
can you give a hint for stacks?
It's got to wait its turn. Element 369 is coming next, and then stacks. So I don't want to hype everything out of order, So there's an order to these things.
There really is. There's a lot happening in Inferno. Over the next 6 weeks. There's been a bit of a break. Alien X was the last thing to launch there. Phoenix is close. E369 is close. Fleur is getting well on in development. Goat X is getting well on in development. Bull will be arriving. I mean, there's 5 projects landing, all built around Inferno in the next, I'm going to say, 6 weeks. And that is a lot to bring to the ecosystem. And again, every single one of them, I'm not dropping details on you. You've seen, that the Fleur is going to be, or not Fleur, that Phoenix is utilizing a lot of the staking pools, but those other projects, and then obviously E369, but those other 3 projects that I mentioned, they haven't even dropped the white papers yet. So there's a lot of hype coming too for the ecosystem whenever those start to drop. Those will probably be coming out in the next, I'd say in the next week or so, all within the next week. So it's been quite quiet there. Inferno's been kind of ticking along, doing its thing. Up to 50, almost 57% of the supply burnt.
Dang.
And then this, all these, let's say, 5 protocols getting launched. Bull's obviously going to be very close as well. And the Volt pillar built on Inferno is going to be very damn close. And that'll be obviously the first thing that's getting utilized with Inferno will be the input token. So a lot of stuff coming just in that one little small kingdom as well. I got Shogun. Yes, like everything.
Very excited,
yeah.
man. Heck yeah.
I'm definitely stacking some Inferno, no doubt.
Did anybody catch that wick on TITANX was absolutely mental today?
It was insane.
You know the funniest part of all of this, because I think I was talking in the Volt Telegram. It's this idea that the whole community was sharing. Oh, do you have the big unstaking event? The big unstaking event. Everything's going to 0. And then I look at the actual, because on-chain is true. Like, people can do their narratives and opinions, etc., but on-chain is true. So when you look on-chain, all the dumping came from whales that were built on TITANX whales. So you had a Volt guy with roughly 10 to 20 million Volt dumping. You had a Dragon X, 2 Dragon X whales dumping roughly 200 billion Dragon X-ish over the last few days. And that was most of the dump.
200
most of the dump was built on
billion
TITANX.
Dragon X. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And but it was two separate guys. I even checked their wallets; they were not linked. So two separate whales, and the actual unstaker, roughly 3 to 7% of them sold. The other 93% are just normal ass holders that just snipe the 369 pair and just want to hold. They want to hold their position. So everybody thought there's one big thing like this is happening, and then it's the complete opposite.
All right. So what about the ban burns activating every single minute? That was a pretty fucking shrewd move. You've seen it. Wouldn't say you've seen it coming, but obviously it was the right thing to do. So yeah, it's interesting. Is that switched off again, or it's still going, pinging at 1 minute?
You'll never know.
Flicking through all the Telegram chats. Everybody's fucking losing their minds. What the fuck? It's going every 1 minute. This is only going to last 2 days.
I mean, the craziest part is when it comes to the buy and burns, that wick was created with only 40 Ethereum, 50 Ethereum. The rest was just momentum.
Right.
People underestimate how much a buy and burn can do.
Yeah, just changing like you said, just changing the momentum, letting the people carry it. Just like there's the momentum with selling, you can get cascading buys as well, no doubt. There's so much damn 100%. Emotion in these people's trades. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's because this unstaking event was so televised throughout all the community. Well, that's not actually what's happening. Also, all the whales, because I track all the wallets. I don't do it publicly because I don't like fucking people's wallets on Twitter. But I track them privately, and they're all out. All the whales are out. Dumping has happened. Like, fully out. And then the funny part of it is, most of them dump on the wick, and then the price is 70% higher of where they dumped. Within an hour.
Ouch.
I'm like, damn. Rage dump, rage pump. And now they're sitting there like, oh my God, fucking hell.
They'll probably buy it back, but they got to buy it back at a higher price.
Oh, I've seen that done so much. And I'm like, guys, can you just sit on your hand? What's with all this selling and buying? And then when you look at these traders on the chart, oftentimes they end up buying back higher. So they lose like 2 to 3% on a trade, or like 10 to 20% on a trade. Then they make 3%. They think they're winning, and then they lose 5% on the next trade. You see this all over the place.
Yeah, I don't even pretend to be a trader, so just stick with the fundamentals. You know, like hyperdeflation is just now hitting. Like, why are you selling right now? I don't get it. So,
oh yeah,
it's all good.
I mean, the burn rate has gone up a ton. So on average, we were burning 100 billion-ish TITANX a day. With X28 being live, we've upped that to 220 billion average now a day, and that's without anything built on X28. So you can imagine when Shogun goes live, we'll probably hit a burn rate of close to $500 billion a day. That's burning a whale a day just through build on TITANX protocol, not even through buy and burn.
Yeah, you think the Shogun will double that? That's a lot. Even that's a lot per day. 220 billion a day. That's a lot.
Man, after seeing people like aping Hydra, like everything Jay comes out with, they ape. You know, so I believe it.
And now it's the hyper-deflationary thing, you know. So I think people are gonna go heavy.
Yeah, because as well, the fact you get your it is an auction-based thing, isn't it? Every 28 days, did I hear you saying? 28 days every day. So you get your coins the next day, 24-hour lockup, or 24. Does everybody get their coins the same day, or is it time stamped in the 24-hour period?
On takeover. So it's a 24-hour takeover for the distribution. They get it straight after.
So everybody all at the same time?
Yes. So then the cool thing is with Shogun, because we have the transfer tax. Half goes to the war chest for perpetual auctions off into the future. 3% goes towards liquidity to liquidity web and deepen liquidity pools. And then 47% of the Shogun gets burned. So as people try to arbitrage the auctions, like go back out, go back in, they'll make a profit, but in the process of doing that, they'll burn a fuck ton of Shogun and feed the war chest for future auctions. So like I'm excited for Shogun, man. I think that one's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I'm excited too. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. Just wanted to pop in and say hello. So yeah, have a good day, you guys out in the States, and have a nice evening, Jake.
All right, later, buddy.
See
I'm gonna have to hop off too. My wife got home.
Mike Dean's in the chat there, looking up, I think.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
We just chilling.
Yeah, man. I was just about to go to sleep, but then I saw Ali. I was like, nah, I gotta jump on now.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Goodbye. I saw you come in and thought I better leave.
Fair enough, man. All good.
Yeah, only joking. How's it going, Mike? All good?
Yeah, all is well, man. I'm really looking forward, man. X28, we had the launch. Now Shogun. Jake is cooking and not sleeping, man.
Yeah, and I sent to you white to Mike. Do you like it?
I loved it. I just saw it. I was like, damn, man. It's like I'm behind. I need to get things rolling. Yeah, man. They're all beautiful, man. Beautiful. And I think this is it is a great idea, especially the X28 going to multi-chain, because one of the things I've been hearing from a lot of builders, there are some few things which just don't work well enough on Ethereum, just due to the fact that the transaction fees are so high. They need essentially to build on these layer 2s on Base or like Arbitrum, whatever. And I think X28 will be that catapult to just take us multi-chain. And essentially, it's just TITANX. X28 is, you can just transform it one-to-one to TITANX. So it is TITANX, essentially, right?
Yeah, 100%. One TITANX always gets you one X28.
So probably let me ask you, the question is, why did you go the X28 route and not just have TITANX to be omni-chain? Because that is also a possibility, right?
Yep. So you have two ways to do it. You have a wrapper contract, which is you take TITANX, you wrap it, that's the omni-chain version. But then users still need to do transaction to do it. So like with X28, they do approve, transact, they get their X28. With the wrapper version of TITANX, they will still have to do the same process, but there's no benefit to TITANX other than you have supply on all chains, semi-locked in liquidity pools. So I wanted to create this gateway so that all the future build on TITANX protocols burn a crap ton of TITANX supply by just by nature of being built on X28. Even if they don't even burn X28, just by nature of being built on top of X28, it's going to burn a lot of TITANX. Because I've seen this trend of like, okay, people burn 10% of TITANX, then 7%, 4%, 3%. I'm like, might as well burn 0 at this point. So I was like, okay, I'll launch X28. You can do 0 if you want, but as long as you're built on X28, that's going to cause the arbitrage ceiling to constantly break, which is going to burn TITANX supply forever, as long as your protocol exists, just by being all built on X28. Because if X28 is one-to-one creatable, if it's trading at 1.02, so 2% more expensive than TITANX, somebody can come in, create X28, sell it down back into 1, and they've essentially made a 2% profit in under a minute. So that every time that ceiling breaks, Crypto Kool-Aid calls it a piston. It's like the pistons are firing. I like that. I like that a lot, because once the pistons fire, yeah, and then the cool thing about it is, since X28 burns TITANX supply, and then 50% of that TITANX buys and burns X28, it creates this perpetual loop of the buy and burn breaking the ceiling in and of itself, and the TITANX supply going lower, causing more TITANX to be burned. So it drags up TITANX and X28 at the same time, because they work off of each other, and the X28 is priced in TITANX. So they all, the pistons is such a nice way to do it, to name it.
So I mean, one of the things is also what I said it on the Sunday Spaces is that all the creation of X28 will exclusively be on Ethereum, right?
Yep.
All right. So now like, do you know what the next chain is going to be? And probably also another thing, which is probably some of the builders which I've been talking to, which I discourage them to build some of the things on Ethereum, essentially, just to the fact that the gas fees are so high. What kind of project should be thinking of building on X28, and probably others just to stick to TITANX and Ethereum? Is there something you could say, like category-wise, roughly a general idea?
Nah, just replace TITANX with X28, because X28 is TITANX. And then whatever people were going to build on TITANX, you might as well do it on X28 on Ethereum, because X28 exists on Ethereum. It's a place that gets created, so most of the supply will forever exist there. And it's also the closest to the user. So if you want the most adoption, you want to be closest to the user, which is going to be Ethereum, because that's what our entire ecosystem is birthed, essentially. So as you go after these other chains, you'll get different pockets of audiences, but you probably won't get mass adoption like you will have on Ethereum. Other chains are probably good if you want some high transaction type protocol. But if it's like an ROI type protocol or an auction system or something along those veins, people don't mind paying the gas fees. I'm still a fan of building on Ethereum, because it's the closest to the user, which gets the most adoption. It's the least friction for the user to interact with your protocol. Yeah, so even when you're building on Ethereum, build on X28 as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's no reason not to. It just adds additional arb pressure, and
creates more value for TITANX too.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with Pulsar. Like, I'm excited to see them launch something on Pulsar. Like, that's what's really going to ignite Pulsar doing the same thing over on Pulse Chain. Because like right now, they don't really have a whole lot going on. They've got their foundation, which is Pulsar. But then when they build something on Pulsar, and it creates that additional buy pressure on Pulsar, it'll just burn a ton of TITANX. So, yeah. Yep, and I'll be a part of that, no doubt. There, you can bet on me building on X28, no doubt. Yeah.
What have you got cooking already? Have you have some ideas already for building on X28?
Yeah, so like, I know you guys have heard me say wind vaults a few times. That's I put that on hold because I realized it made more sense to have HLX. So wind vaults is going to be multi-chain, not just one chain, but multiple. And I was realizing that the best scenario for me would be to have HLX involved in every single one of those chains. And so now that X28's there, now I'm going to do HLX the same style, and now I can utilize X28 and HLX, well, HLX 2.0, whatever we're going to call that, because it'll be the same concept. Like I don't want to just wrap HLX. I want to do the same thing where it's a one-way street. Because that's an amazing concept. So yeah, wind vaults will definitely use X28. I've got multiple ideas, and even what I'm building right now, I'm looking to integrate X28 with stacks. I want to utilize X28 as well. So plenty of things.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Do you have any alpha for stacks already, or not yet?
Not yet. No, we got Element 369 launching in like a week or two. It's already double audited. We're doing just some extra testing just to be absolutely sure that everything's good. Like it's launch ready right now, but we're not in a hurry. So I really want to do the rounds of streams and getting everybody, doing the deep dives, because I haven't even really done, like, most people know what 369 is. I mean, the white paper's out there, but like I need to do some deep dives this week to let everybody know exactly what it is. And then once we get that rolling, then I can start teasing stacks.
Cool. Can you give us a quick rundown for E369? Is that correct?
Yeah. It's I'm calling it the E280 expansion pack. So you like it like if you've got an E280 NFT, like this will support you. And it's utilizing the Flux protocol. And so it's basically, if you're a fan of Flux, but don't want to be in that daily auction every day, this will automate that process for you. So you just hold the NFT. By holding this NFT, you're participating in daily auctions every day in Flux. And then you're also getting automatic auto compounding. So some of your rewards is automatically rerouted back into daily auctions. And then you're getting paid out in Element 280, Inferno, and Flux tokens. So there's no new token with this NFT project. It's just going to strictly support those 3 tokens already existing. So like if you've already got E280 NFT, you meant the E369 NFT. Now that's adding additional buy pressure to E280. It's adding burn pressure, and you're earning additional E280 tokens, and that's going to increase the rewards on the E280 side as well. So yeah, that's essentially it.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, I mean, we can definitely do a rundown on the YouTube. Check.
Yeah.
Gonna do some drawings, and then we're gonna figure that shit out.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm looking forward to it.
I think the last time when I was talking to Steve regarding his Nexus buy and burn, because a lot of people did not understand that, and I was just like, okay, Steve, we're gonna sit down. No. How does this work? So I think it was pretty good to get through that, but it was kind of hard to get it through. But I think that's why I like doing that, because I don't know, I just like. It's much easier if you have the drawings in front of you, so you can point at things, because just sentences and words sometimes are just hard to describe things. So that's why I like that.
I'm definitely the visual guy. Those it's funny because sometimes the diagrams confuse people, but to me, like, that's easier for me to understand what's going on, so everybody's a little different.
Yeah, I was watching that Mike Dean stream with Steve talking about the Nexus, and even I was like, wait a second. There was so much going on the screen. Yeah, but now that you can see it in Viper, I'm like, okay, it makes more sense now.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I think I did not understand it well myself. So I was like, okay, Steve, let's sit down. But Steve was just like, no. He was like trying to get away, like trying to explain it his way. But there's like, no, let's go step by step, So anyway, we go through that, man. I was like glad. And then I got DMs like, oh, I finally understood it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, at least some few people understood that. That's great.
Yeah, and I want to announce real quick that Mike Dean, he's working on a NFT Burnbot for us, so we can watch all the NFTs getting burned as they come in. because we've already seen, like, I think I just did the math. It was like 90 NFTs were already burned. Like 2 days after minting phase is closed, people are already burning. It's awesome to see. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, obviously, TITANX up and everything else, a lot of data on our end. So definitely trying to push that forward as well. Keep the data flowing, and I think that's great. By the way, I think I got a DM today by somebody. I'm not sure. It was Mello, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they want to fix the coin market cap. I think the circulating supply or something is not correct or so. And I'm not so sure. From what I've been reading, is like they need like an API in some ways in a particular form,
Yeah.
so that they can fix the circulating supply. I haven't checked into it. Like, do you guys know how, like, what they exactly need?
It's basically just a blank page that just emits just the number. That's it.
Okay.
So, you know, you don't have to have links to it. It's just like create a new page on your website and then point them to that web page that just gives them a number. That's all it is.
Okay, but probably they're expecting, like, I don't know, a JSON with whatever max supply or things like that. Like, I mean, that was initially my question. Is just like, okay, we have the data. How do they want it? And that was more the reason. I mean, I haven't checked into it. That's why I was just asking if you guys
They have like a step-by-step process on. Are we talking? I'm talking about CoinGecko. I don't know. You said CMC, so I'm not sure.
I
what
think
theirs
probably
is.
they're very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll check it. I'll check into it exactly how that works. But I was just curious if maybe Jake or maybe Dude has you had fixed this issue before.
I know CMC has self-reporting dashboard. Yeah, I need to look into that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
gonna be
over
so funny.
CMC. Yeah. What?
What'd you say, Jake?
It's so funny because with CMC, the moment our supply gets correctly tracked, we'll show up at like a top 200 out of nowhere. I think it's top 200, let's say.
Yeah. Hey, Jake.
All right, boys, I'm going to hop
No.
off so I can go spend time with my wifey.
No
I'll see
worries,
y'all
man.
in the next stream.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll show up in the top 400-ish.
Top 400. All right. Well, that's not so bad.
Yeah, I still need to
top
do that
10.
with Helios. It's not been on my priority list, to be honest. But yeah, I need to create an API for that as well.
I mean, the thing is, right? I mean, we have like TITANX Hub has all the data essentially, right? Which is like give them the API to just for that. It's not. It's just like few clicks away. Essentially, the only thing is like I just need to know how they want the data. It's like, is that a JSON? Do they want XML or whatever? I don't know. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I'll send you a DM because I didn't even think about that. You do already have all the data, so that could be even easier. Yeah.
Well, we have the data.
Because I was, I don't know if they need it specifically on my website or if I can just point them to your website. I'll read through the docs again and we'll see.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Yeah, and also we're gonna fix it for TITANX as well.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's super simple. Yeah, easy to do.
One of the things I think people are not prepared for at all, because I've seen these things play out with an arbitrage thing in the middle. I think people are heavily underestimating how much liquid supply is just going to evaporate out of thin air. Like X28, man, you just need to get one good thing on there, and that's going to be Shogun, and it's off to the races. Like I don't think people can comprehend how much these things can do. I see Dude smiling because he gets it. I think he really gets it.
Yeah, I mean, insane, like, man. Yeah, and what's going to be great is like it's not even going to need a buy and burn. Like it's just going to like stack a ton of TITANX in the pool to buy and burn it at a later date when it's more stagnant. Like up front, like it's not even going to need it. You just leave that off for the first 6 months and let it just build up. Like it'll do it all on its own.
Oh, 100%. RR. So the input token for Shogun is going to be liquid X28. So X28, because people are still kind of getting onto the concept because it has been on for too long, out for too long. So X28 is TITANX. It's one-to-one creatable with TITANX. You don't need to buy it off the pool, although you can. Like if it's below a one-to-one, like even 2% below, you can get a better deal just buying it off the pool. But if you go to app.x28.win or just x28.win, is going to redirect you, x28.win. It's one-to-one. So if you have 100 billion TITANX, you go there, you do 100 billion TITANX, you get 100 billion X28. Forever, always, it's one-to-one. Zero slippage. So you don't need any slippage by going to the pool or whatever. So X28 is essentially TITANX. Now, the cool thing about X28 is X28 is an omni-chain coded token. So it exists on Ethereum, but it will be able to go to any chain. And when I say go to any chain, it's literally just a bridge. So people can take it from Ethereum to Base or Ethereum to X or to Arbitrum to Optimism to Blast, etc. BNB chain through a bridge. As they do that, that removes supply from the Ethereum side, making it even easier for the Arb to piston off, to burn TITANX supply. Now, when I mention piston, that means every time X28 is worth more than one TITANX, so let's say it trades at 1.02 even. One X28 is worth 1.02 TITANX. People will mint X28 to sell it back down to one-to-one because there's a free 2% ARB sitting there that people can execute on in less than a minute. 2% in a minute, everybody wants that. And the cool thing about this protocol is even if it's only one person doing the ARBs, that's all you need. So it's one person, and X28, the ARB ceiling works. Now, the cool thing about X28 is people are going to need X28 to go into auction for Shogun. And X28 is going to be the input token for essentially the future of BuildOnX28, either on Ethereum or on all the chains. Because one of the issues I wanted to solve with arbitrage token is just having an arbitrage token is not good enough, because it's okay for a little bit, but then the supply overhang and the market cap becomes too big where you cannot push it above ceiling essentially being above one-to-one, because it's just too heavy to push up and there's no need to have a token. It only exists for arbitrage or LPing on the ratio, which is solved here because X28 is TITANX and things are going to be built on X28 and you're going to need X28. So as people need X28, they're forced to that way, and as they do that, half of the TITANX gets burned, the other half buys and burns X28. So it drags both things up at the same time. Because as people mint X28, X28 goes up because of the buy and burn. TITANX goes up because now it's more scarce, because the supply is forever burned. So it drags both sides up constantly. So X28 is just look at it as TITANX, essentially, because you can always create it one-to-one. You can always get $1 worth of value for your $1 worth of TITANX. And then the cool thing that we'll also add another layer to this. So the way the Shogun auction calculates the value of your X28 is it's always going to calculate it at one TITANX. So let's say an extreme scenario where X28 trades at 80 cents and TITANX is $1. If you take your X28, you go into the auction, you'll get $1 worth of value in that auction, which means you basically just made it free 20% by entering an auction with X28. So the Shogun auction is just hard-coded for one X28 as one TITANX. So if it trades below that, you can actually do a very, very quick ARB, just entering the Shogun auction with X28 and essentially get 20% cheaper Shogun. So there's a lot built around X28 and it's going to click once people get it, because it's only been out for like 3 days. Yeah, X28 is just TITANX. It's omni-chain TITANX.
Can you explain a little bit how the stakes, how you're going to utilize the stakes in Shogun?
Yep. So you're going to be able to enter the Shogun auction with liquid X28 or TITANX stakes. So the way the stakes work is, let's say you have a stake with 10 billion TITANX. To enter the Shogun auction, you need to have 10 billion TITANX liquid and 10 billion staked. So it's just one-to-one with the stake. So if you burn a 23 billion stake, you need to supply 23 billion liquid as well, and you'll get 56 billion worth of value in the auction. So it just combines them together, and that's your auction entry. The reason we needed to do that is otherwise the mechanics break. Because by burning a stake, you don't have any buy and burn pressure on Shogun, because a stake is burn supply. There's no benefit to it. So the liquid essentially just buys and burns Shogun, feeds the war chest, burns Shogun, feeds the liquidity web for the arbitrage boss to run through. And then that's how it works, essentially. So you can do liquid X28 or your stake one-to-one with liquid, and you get the full value in the auction. And I'm thinking of capping it after 28 days. So you're probably only going to be able to do it for the first 28 days of Shogun, and then it's only going to be liquid X28.
Okay, okay. Well, I think that's an interesting point there. That it's gonna be only for those 28 days.
Yep.
Is that something you just came up with it right now, or was that original idea?
Nah, I just came up with it right now because I was thinking about it today. I'm probably going to do it because it makes the UI simpler after the 28 days.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and obviously there's going to be a bit more pressure there than to get rid of those stakes. I mean, I think Eric is going to be a happy camper, and well, dude too.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. Because yeah, Element 280. That we almost doubled our stake. In HLX. It was pretty awesome to see. So, and then if we can see people burning a ton of it, and like we increase our position that way without having to do anything, like tip my hat to Jake. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. It's probably going to be 28-day cap.
Yeah.
Because the UI looks so much cleaner when the stakes are not included. It's a very clean UI. Like even now with the stakes, but it's just nice when it's only liquid X28. There's no questions. No. What is this TITANX stake thing for like new users?
Yeah.
Because people have been wanting it for so long.
Yeah, like I think the massive burning of stakes will happen all in the beginning anyways, because the people that want to do it are itching to do it right now. And just to clarify, I'm not one of those people. I will hold my stake.
I am one of those people. All my stakes are going into Shogun.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But Jake,
it's another win-win where like people holding, now their share goes up, and the people that want to get rid of it, now they can get rid of it. Everybody wins.
Yeah. So Jake, probably just to clarify a little bit regarding stakes, because that's most of the questions I'm getting asked is just like, okay, how about the stakes? And I also have people who have compromised wallets with a lot of stakes. That's why the questions come from them a lot. So let's say I have 10 billion stake TITANX for so I need another 10 billion of TITANX to pair with that. X28 actually, not you need to transform it to X28 first, right?
No. So with the TITANX stake is with TITANX liquid.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then X28. Yeah, so it's TITANX plus TITANX or X28.
Oh, I see. You see, that was my first misunderstanding there. All right. So if you're coming in with the stakes, you need the equivalent TITANX for it as well.
Yep. Exactly. And that TITANX will then buy X28.
Oh.
Breaking the ARB, burning X28, and then buying and burning Shogun.
Will he buy straight, or is like with a buy and burn delay?
It's going to be during the distribution period, 28% of the contract balance gets used every day. So if there's $10 million in there, 2.8 million will be used within one day. And then 28% of the contract balance the next day and the next day. So it's 28% during the distribution, and then it's 8% a day after with the war chest is what we call it, the perpetuals.
All right. And that will be buying X28 with that TITANX.
The TITANX will buy X28 first, and then the X28 will buy Shogun. But 20% of the X28 will also get burned.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, wow, that's definitely very interesting, man. Definitely looking forward to that. So imagine now as a user, right? I came in. Evan, by the way, shout out to you, man. Hello.
Thank you. Good evening.
Deep in the Shogun here already.
Dude, I'm so excited for this one. I'm just blessed that we are so early within the ecosystem. People have no idea what's about to happen, and yeah,
it looks very nice and comfy there in with your fire, dude. Evan.
It is. The only problem is this is the only room in a really big house that has a fireplace, so it's like a sauna here, and the rest of the house is like a refrigerator. But no, it's nice and cozy, and it has something for sure. I don't know. It has a primal feeling. I love playing with the fireplace all day. No problem here.
It's nice. It's nice. So back to Shogun. Jake, I'm a user. I have 10 billion stake TITANX. I bring in my 10 billion liquid TITANX. I have to enter the auction, and then 24 hours later, at the auction end, I can mint my Shogun.
Correct. Yep. Straight
Okay.
after the auction end. So that can also be
Sweet.
2 minutes before, and then you get it 2 minutes later.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. The question is I mean, I'm seeing sometimes, especially like with these auctions as well, is they are like some bots who just like come in like one block before and one block after, like they just dump straight away. Is that something you've looked into? And
I
why
want
did
that.
you okay?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell us, like, why do you want that?
The difference is there's a tax on the token compared to like what Volt has.
Gotcha.
Correct. So there's
Okay.
an 8% tax on Shogun, and this is also a reason for people to enter the auction. Because when you enter the auction, you don't pay the tax. You get your tokens 100%. So you don't pay the 8% tax. It's only when you sell you pay 8%. So that's going to incentivize a lot of people to go into auction, which is better for the entire protocol and ecosystem. And then as people do that, let's say you have a 20% ROI on auction, somebody enters, the ROI is now at 10%. Well, then they can make it 2% because they'll eat 8% going out. And then 50% of that Shogun goes into the war chest for future perpetual auctions. The other 47% of the Shogun gets burned, and 3% gets sent to a liquidity wallet to deepen the liquidity across the 35 pairs within the ecosystem that arbitrage bots will constantly be fixing prices to. And I was running some numbers just to make clear how epic that idea is. So Element 280 had 3 million a day in volume-ish. 70% of that was arbitrage bots only. Arbitrage bots only. That was $2.1 million a day to arbitrage bots only. If Shogun gets something very similar to that, and it's going to have very deep liquidity pools, like deep liquidity pools, so it might even be higher. That's $1 million of Shogun burned every day, just through transfer taxes alone, not the buy and burn.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, your protocol is going to get more participation than mine. Like, not that it's just purely reputation. Like everybody, like it's a Jake protocol, right? That's all you need to say, and people will ape into it.
I love how you're like a floating head
so.
now. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I've seen that earlier. He's no neck. I was like, what is going on here?
I'm wearing a green shirt, and I was like, I normally change, and I was like, you know what? It's a red day. Like, let's have some fun today, you know? And like, yeah, I'm showing my green. Yeah.
But Jake, regarding at the end of the auction, right, when people claim their tokens, that is also a transfer essentially from whatever, like that smart contract to your wallet. Is that smart contract whitelisted that there's no transfer tax on that, or how did you deal with that?
You mean when users claim their tokens?
Yes, because essentially that's also a transfer from one place to another, or one contract to another.
Yep.
EOA.
So there's 3 whitelists. So the liquidity wallet is whitelisted to create the liquidity pairs. The buy and burn contract is whitelisted, so it can just buy without having insane slippage.
Yeah.
And then the third whitelist is the transfer when users claim their auction supply.
That's
so you don't pay taxes.
All right. Yeah, because I'm just thinking, it's like, okay, you claim it, you get directed 8% haircut.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, and one of the things I'll also do is I think the code is already written like this, as there's no ability to add a whitelist, I think. Because then people could use the federal element of like, hey, Jake is just going to whitelist his wallet and not pay taxes. So I'm like, just no add whitelist.
The thing is like, you know, you got a vault pillar that comes out. Like, you don't want people getting taxed to participate in the vault pillar. That's the only thing that I feel like I would accept the FUD and just I think the utility is much better on that. So that's just my opinion. There's always going to be something coming out that, you know, is going to break somebody's protocol, and they're going to be like, well, I'm not including X28 because it's tax. But if you could just whitelist their protocol, then they're more likely to utilize Shogun, you know. So
yeah, that's a great point from dude there.
Yeah. Because I'll say Element 280 has a whitelist option, you know, and we will whitelist Volt Gold, you know, so that he can launch without. Because if people are going to get taxed going into their protocol, now they're looking at like a negative 4% ROI, like
From
out the gate.
get-go.
Yeah, and that's silly. So, and then and then also highly recommend the LP manager, like, because people want to provide liquidity, you know, and if they're going to get taxed going into their position and then back out of their position, then they're not going to provide liquidity, and that, to me, that hurts the protocol as well. So lots of
That's a great
reasons.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's great points, I guess.
I saw a great
3%
question for
buy. Oh, go
I
ahead.
just wait 1 second. I just saw a great question for the TITANX stakes. I'm trying to find it again. But essentially the question was, does the length of the stake matter? So for example, if you have a 3,000 day stake or a 30-day stake, it doesn't matter. You can just burn any stake. And it's the same entry into the auction. So if it's 3,000 days or 30 days, doesn't matter. You still get the same auction value.
And I guess there's no way to game that. Like, I don't see any reason why you would stake your TITANX to then immediately burn it, because you're having to still get your 1-for-1. Yeah.
I mean, there's no way to game that essentially, right? Because you can just transform to X1 and just participate normally, right?
Well, X28.
Yeah.
X28, yeah.
The
Okay,
3% that is
late
going to
here.
go
I took some creatine already, man, to feel sharp, but I guess it's late.
You need a different Ian, the nicotine, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wrong in. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but
That 3% that is going to buy all these tokens, is that automatically spread over everything, or is it
No.
going to do it one at a time
That's
and
good.
let ARPs do the thing?
That's going to be done manually. So what's going to happen is going to be a liquidity wallet. People are going to be able to see what that wallet is. So everything's going to be transparent. And then it will create the liquidity pairs and burn the LP tokens. So once it creates the liquidity, it will just burn the tokens. So they can never get withdrawn, essentially.
Perfect. Yeah, then you can allocate it there where it's needed strategically. Perfect. Yeah.
So that'll be some buy pressure on all of the ecosystem, right? Same with like what Element 280 did. Yeah, that's beautiful.
100%.
Yeah. And then, like you said, burning it. No, it's just more liquidity locked in smart contracts, or in this case, just burn straight up. Like that's so good for the entire ecosystem. I think that's kind of underrated. Nobody really talks about that.
But by the way, X28 is currently the third biggest TITANX burner on the list, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, we're heading for number one easy. We're going to beat that. Yeah. Hold me to it.
I think Hyper is currently number one, and then we have Inferno, and then X28 coming up. And I think Inferno is fairly soon going to be overtaken.
Yep. Yeah, because right now nothing's built on X28. Yeah, but at least people know now that you can get prepared for Shogun by just having liquid X28.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, there is actually no rush to get X28, right? Because it's only it's 1-to-1 anyway. It's the same thing essentially. So this is not a formal contract, or it's not a formal project.
Right, but it's still like he's just saying, if you want to be ready, like if you're trying to ape into Shogun, you would rather have that liquid sitting there, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and even the transformation process is only like 20 seconds ish on average.
Yeah,
you need 2 blocks, one for the approval, one for confirmation.
Yeah.
No, I need to be first in Shogun. I don't have time for that.
But you have 4 hours auction, you know.
Locked and loaded.
This is actually a great question. I didn't think about this game theory. So Ahmed says, Jake, please confirm if there's 5 trillion TITANX currently staked, they will need to buy or hold 5 trillion TITANX liquid to unstake. Yes, that is accurate. That's some great game theory right there.
Yeah.
Are there other questions in here? I haven't checked the chat at all. Yeah. Bigger the liquidity pools, the more bots will arbitrage, no doubt. Yeah, good God knows what's up on the LP webs.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good question. What were the challenges when it comes to creating bridgeable X28? What needed to change in X28 that TITANX didn't have? So one, I hate bridges because ERC20 bridges, the way it works is it takes your tokens, it locks it up in a bridge, and then it essentially mints a representation of that token on the other chain. But now you're in the risk because man, one of the big reasons crypto is so fucked is because of all the bridge hacks that happen. There's multi-billion-dollar bridge hacks that have happened in the past just because, hey, send your tokens to this contract. Some random IT Korean coworker has the keys to that bridge contract. They rug all the tokens. They sell billions of dollars on market, and that's usually what happens in the bear market. That and then exchange collapses, etc. So ERC20 bridges suck. So we needed an omni-chain fungible token is what it's called. We use layer 0. So the way layer 0 works is it burns. So let's say you go from Ethereum to Base. It burns it on Ethereum, mints it on Base, and it's non-custodial, meaning your tokens do not go to a contract. So if anything ever happens to layer 0, well, nothing happens to your tokens. Mm-hmm. Layer 0 is also fully decentralized. So it's not a centralized sequencer, it's a fully decentralized sequencer, sending a transaction from one chain to the other. So the way it works is on Ethereum, it sends a message to the X28 endpoint to the layer 0 endpoint contract on Ethereum. That then sends a message to the layer 0 validators. They send that message to the layer 0 contract on Base, which then communicates with your contract on Base to mint the tokens back to the user. That's kind of the structure of layer 0, but it's a mint and burn protocol. It's not send your tokens to this contract and then get it minted on the other side, and then your tokens can just get rugged from under you, because that's a custodial bridge. Layer 0 is non-custodial, which is why we went with layer 0. So you need an OFT is what it's called, omni-chain fungible token, to make something omni-chain, if that makes sense. If you use layer 0 specifically.
And probably another thing, Jay, you can talk to that as well. If you have an already existing ERC20, I think I saw also there's a possibility to make that layer 0 compatible in some ways. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, that's called a wrapper contract. So that's essentially just you can go in and out. You still kind of have custody of the tokens because the tokens go to a contract, and then it mints you it. So it's still kind of custody, which I don't like. But yeah, you can essentially have a wrapper, but then it's a wrapper contract, so it's your contract, so you can make sure it's safe. And if there are keys, at least you know who has the keys. But ideally no keys. But yeah, you can also have a wrapper OFT. That's without any of the extra game theory that X28 and stuff has. That's just one-to-one in, one-to-one out. But then people still need to do the approval for the token and then the transaction to wrap it. So it comes down to the same user experience as X28. X28 is just way more high impact.
Gotcha. But essentially, you can have these smart like, do you have to can you just be the one holding the keys, or not even holding the keys at all? Can you just have the specification, or do they give you?
No, they don't. They don't have keys. So you'll have the keys to your contract, but you can also decide to do it without keys. Gotcha. Like I don't think for a wrapper you actually don't need keys.
Yeah,
I don't see any reason why your wrapper contract will have keys.
I mean, it's somewhat very similar to like ETH and wrapped ETH. You know, it's also just a wrapper in some ways, right?
It's a perfect example. Yep. Yeah, it's a perfect example. Ethereum, wrapped Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you go to Uniswap and you put Ethereum at the top, wrapped Ethereum at the bottom, that's essentially just a wrap transaction.
Yeah. And that's like, it's just a smart contract, just accepting ETH and issuing ERC20 ETH or wrapped ETH.
Yep. Yeah. I think the X28 model is. Oh, you'll see it. You'll see it in action.
Is this something, let's say, if dude is thinking about doing something similar, is this something he should be following, a similar concept in some ways? If he
I like it a lot. I think it's a great idea. Just do the same X28 concept on Helios. H420 was his idea, I think. Same idea, omni-chain, and then you can essentially build on Helios on other chains. I think it's a great idea because then you can have a X28 H420 pair on Base, and it kind of just, it's a copy of the model on Ethereum. Yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff with this model.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's happening. No doubt.
how complex is integrating something like this with layer 0? I mean, I haven't checked really deep into it, just checked the concepts. How complex is it, like on the technical level, to work with this?
It's not that complicated.
No, and they've got solid documentation. You know, you just have to import their functions. You know, yeah, it's not bad at all.
All right, no worries. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just haven't. I only known the concepts because I was curious back then when Jake talked about this. I think it was I don't know, January or something, or February. I think you mentioned something layer 0, and Shogun got listed on TITANX Hub, and since then we got no love from Shogun. But here it is, guys.
The longest tease ever.
2 more weeks.
I mean, the thing is, like, on the database, I know they created so I can check actually when it was actually created, that entry for Shogun.
Man, Shogun has taken so many different tours. Because the Shogun was first dropped like directly after TITANX launch, I think. And then it was just, now we have X28 and Shogun. Yep. But now it's real.
Yeah.
Now you know it's real.
I think Shogun was on the original Google Sheet, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
I'll have to check that, but yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, you should definitely check out layer 0 before you launch, because you might realize, oh, you want to integrate that now with Matrix.
Oh man, that's
You're like, no more work, no.
yeah.
Well, you can still just do the same thing. You can do your Matrix 2.0 with.
I think that will probably will make more
burning.
sense. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
when I heard the X28, when I saw it launched on that Friday, I was like, oh, that day I was so busy, man. It's like Viper came out, the TITANX Updates aggregator came on the same day as well, so I was very busy. But anyhow, when I saw that X28, I was like, oh, this is a good idea, man. I like this. So this is potentially maybe later on, like with Matrix, that's something I could be adding on that. I think that would make more sense, in my opinion, right now.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a great model.
Yeah. So I'm just checking my database here for Shogun when it was created. I'm just curious now.
How's the Morpheus minting going, Erwin?
It's over. It's done
over.
for.
Did I miss it? Oh, well, I didn't miss it. I was a day one mentor. I will say that, but I didn't realize it's over. Okay.
It was pretty much the only logical day to do it. I mean, we all pretty much knew it's gonna be day one, and then probably a lot of nothing, and that's pretty much what happened. But yeah, no, we're pretty excited for how it all turned out. The support was amazing. Yeah. Did not expect it, to be honest.
So I didn't miss the raffle yet, did I?
No. Probably Wednesday, but we're still working out the details. But yeah, probably Wednesday on stream. And then it's going to be, I believe it was, what was it again? Chainlink. It's going to be used for the randomizer. So yeah. Everything's up, and then we're gonna make hopefully 10 different people really happy, and it's not gonna fall on one person, but yeah, we'll see. I'm really looking forward to it. It will be a really nice thing to be able to share with somebody that is a smaller player within the ecosystem, to walk away with 22 billion TITANX. Yeah, that would be freaking amazing, for sure.
I think Rich Landon will win again.
Oh, you won big.
I was like, what?
You know, Marco posted the perfect meme, you know, like that little kid sitting there.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank. Happy for you.
I was laughing my ass off when I saw that. That was so perfect. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, though, I guarantee you half of that's going into building on TITANX. Like he's got the building bug in him. So
That's awesome.
I think that was a great person to win that, because he's not taking the money and running. There's no doubt.
Right.
It's going to help support the ecosystem in so many ways. So,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very
gonna
happy
get
for him.
good use. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to
he's-
Rich.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
I mean,
dedicated.
he has the name for it. At least he won. He has the name for it, man. Rich.
So, Sifo asked, is it possible to burn partly burn TITANX stakes or only the whole? It's only the whole stake. So just the full stake. So if you have one big stake, you just need to do one big auction entry. If you have a bunch of small stakes, you need to do it. You're going to be able to batch enter into the auction, but you just have to look at them as individuals. But it's the full, not part.
I see Marco in the chat. Yeah, appreciate the laugh. That was great. Yeah. And Smooth and Crypto, what y'all up to? Come say hi.
Yeah, jump on. Peer pressure.
Yeah, man. Hang out.
So I found they created that. I was just curious, guys. The 9th of January, Shogun was created on the database. So, but it was before on the Google Sheet. So there's that.
Man, Shogun has seen the world at this point.
Yeah.
It got left behind. The Google Sheet, their website. Nah, fuck Shogun.
And now we got a flux capacitor, so we can get it back. Perfect.
Shogun, yeah.
All right, so peer pressure, where's some additional alpha on Matrix? What's going on with it?
Right?
Yeah, peer pressure, man. So one thing I can say is like I am going to I have the logo ready, so I have a new logo ready, everything. So the UI, I'm polishing the UI currently a little bit, and some few things. I'm doing a lot of testing, man, because obviously like testing every day. So tomorrow I'm gonna basically switch off my phone like the whole day. I'm just gonna be a lot of testing going on, and I'll drop some few things soon, man. I'm just like there's some few things I'm ironing out, and then it's like once I'm out, and that's it. Like I'm out and just putting out there as much as possible.
The Matrix design is great. I saw the website. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. I was
Kind of was looking forward to maybe a collaboration, but let's freaking go. I don't know how long it's gonna take for Matrix to come, but I was hoping of some nice stuff.
I mean, I'm pushing hard, basically. So, getting a lot of creatine. Since I read that with sleep deprivation, creatine helps for your brain function.
I saw that.
Was like, all right.
Bunch of creatine capsules. I need all of it.
I read that. I was like, all right, man. Just like,
Let's
all right.
go.
I need to take double whatever I normally take.
It's also good for muscle recovery, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already taking it, like, because like for like going to the gym and stuff. But then it's like I read that, I was like, oh man, I like scientists, man, and I like this finding.
Double doses from now on.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Great.
I just sent you the link, Smooth.
Nice. I'll be back in 1 minute. Go get some water.
No worries.
Oh man, I'm out of water too. I'll wait for him.
So, dude, when are you thinking of launching? I mean, your extension pack.
We were discussing next weekend. If not, it'll be the weekend after that. I'm pretty sure we'll want to launch on a weekend. But we weren't sure, like, Yeah. I would like to do it sooner than later, but I don't know. I'm not really in a rush, but I am excited to release it. So, yeah, I don't know. Well,
how is the launching phase going to be? Is it going to be something very similar, 28 days of minting it, or how were you thinking about it?
no, this is gonna sync up with the Flux protocol. So Flux has got 88-day payouts, and so we're gonna have minting phase for the first 44 days, and then the second 44 days, minting is turned off, and then the 88-day payout will hit, and then minting will reopen again for 44 days, and then turn off. So it'll be an on-off schedule every 44 days, in line with Flux.
Okay.
So the first cycle will be a little bit off because we're not launching like exactly on that 44-day window. So the first cycle will be a little different, but then after that it'll be 44 on, 44 off. And then there's a cutoff point as well to be eligible for the 777 reward that they have. So that'll have to be like, we don't want people minting right before a massive payout. So that's the reasoning for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, Smooth and Crypto, you're looking way too cool, man. Damn it, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Bro, you're already rocking your flare cap and shit. Oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah, I had to get a couple test run. I'm gonna order a whole bunch of different colors and stuff like that soon.
That's awesome, man. Like, do you wanna disclose where you got this from? I mean, is it like from the famous in the ecosystem or not?
No. This is I have a friend that makes these things, so I just get them made, and he's ready for my bulk order, and I've been teasing him with it since I made that TITANX hat. So
fantastic, man. So is it just because of the camera? It's like the other way around, or
yeah,
is
no,
it the right way?
it's just upside down. So in general, I have my screen flipped, but if I just tilted it upside down, it'd say flare perfectly. But
Lovely.
let's see.
Flare, man. So do you have oh, nice.
That's
So
cool.
do we have any offers for Flare? I mean, the only thing I've seen so far was the Telegram. I listed it on TITANX Hub. Go to the Telegram, by the way, guys. Do we have any alpha?
I mean, there's been no real alpha that's been dropped. They've been
until
hinting,
now.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was about to say.
They've been hinting on Inferno side. This will be built on Inferno. I have a couple changes that I want to make to it, and I think that will be so sick for everybody and the vibes right now and stuff like that. And I think if we implement it, it'd be sweet. Another alpha I guess I could drop is the TITANX that we're burning is going to go to the Phoenix Vault, just because it has to do with the Inferno kingdom and everything like that. So the fact that Inferno is being bought every single time Phoenix is being used for auctions and stuff like that, I just feel like that's kind of a good place to put it, in my opinion. Looking forward to talk more about it, I guess, but that's a good alpha drop, in my opinion, where the TITANX burnt is going to Phoenix. Inferno is going to be burnt with it as well. Yeah, man, it's going to be sick. And hopefully within this week, hopefully by the end of this week, I have the white paper out, and we can talk all about it and the percentages and game theory and stuff like that. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I will say I didn't reinvent the wheel. I kind of put a spin on a couple different things kind of going on right now. So yeah.
Cool, man. I mean, I think regarding sending some TITANX off to Phoenix, I think that's a great idea, man. Shout out to my boy Callum. I know dude doesn't like this when we do shout outs. But I am going to shout out my boy Callum, man. I think he's going through some personal issues right now. So shout out to you, my friend. And yeah, we wanna get you back on track as soon as possible so that we can push forward for Phoenix. And for sure, man, I think maybe if he will listen in, I think Callum will be very happy that you're sending some TITANX off to Phoenix smart contract, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love Column. Column is definitely I was his first stream. He was texting or messaged me on DM and stuff like that, and just asking me for different piece of advice or whatever it was. And I said, dude, let's just jump on a stream. Let's just talk about stuff. And he was kind of nervous at first. And I said, hey man, look, it's just a conversation that's on tape. I said, at the end of the day, we're not talking anything crazy. This is just general TITANX stuff. It's not that deep. And so he kind of just sucked it up. And then after the stream, we talked for like 2 or 3 hours, man. And he was like, that wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm like, I know. It's really not that hard. No one cares. We're just trying to all talk about like-minded stuff.
Yeah, big fan of Callum.
Totally agree, man. I mean, the fact is, I think one of the things I'm just seeing, especially like for like a young dude like Callum, I think he's 20 or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the amount of risk he's willing to take with kind of this stuff, because it's like when I was probably 20, I'm not so sure if I was probably more risk averse. So it's like, I like shout out to him and to get the balls, because it's not easy to put yourself out there and push this thing through, man. So I mean, that's something, especially for 20 years old, man. I look at him, I'm just like, oh man, this is great, man. It's like, go for it, man. It's like, you're young, go for it, man. And I mean, I just like that. That's why it's like, yeah.
That was exactly my reaction as well after his stream. I was just as excited. Somebody at that age willing to build his own future. I mean, how could you not get excited about it? I mean, at the end of the day, they are the new generation that is going to create our future. So I'm already halfway through. We need the younger guys.
Yeah. When you've been into crypto for a while, it drains you. I'm gonna be honest. And now, I mean, all of you guys are building projects and in the weeds, if you want to call it that, with crypto. It's you have crypto investing and you have like sub communities within it, and then when you start building, it's like, oh geez, my whole day is consumed on that.
Pretty much, yeah.
And by the way, the interview which Callum did with Jake, I thought that was one of the best interviews, man.
Yes.
That one was great.
Really good.
Seriously.
That was really great, man. I mean, some of the questions, even Jake was like, man, like you were thinking, you were like, damn, this is not like just the easy questions I normally get.
When he takes a 5 to 10 second pause before he answers, it's like, damn, you got him really thinking.
I think my best shorts came from that video, and my most shorts. The shorts with the captions, I think that was the stream that I got the most out of. Yeah, so much was said. And the one with Brandon was really good because you just got different questions that you normally don't get. So that were interesting streams to, short for sure. But how can you not lie? I love that guy's energy. I mean, I'm gonna call him Sunshine. Sunshine.
You need a more badass name than that.
Yeah, man. You need man. Like, I mean, he comes with a suit on and stuff,
No, I love it.
I had to laugh. He was like, "Hey, you got a suit you can wear for the interview we were gonna do," and I was like, "No, man, you're talking to the wrong guy for that shit." I'm a flip flops kind of guy. You don't see me in suits.
The funny thing was, like, he told me, like, yeah, but I was like talking to Steve. I wore the suit because I was talking to Steve. I have respect for Steve. I was like, oh yeah, all right, man, no worries.
I mean, it was cool. It's like
it was
proper dap. Proper dapper.
Yeah,
it was.
That was it.
Go ahead.
Later on the stream, he was like, I got to take this off. I'm starting to really sweat bad. It's like, well, you're wearing a 2-piece suit inside, like sitting at a computer, like it's going to get hot.
Okay, so what do you have coming up? So we have, actually, I made a great tweet I just made like a bullet point of the ecosystem. Actually, I'll actually read it because it really shows, man, how much we've done in a year. It's insane. Only a year. So we've been top 10 on Ethereum for months on end, often top 5 with TITANX. 22 plus protocols have been built on top. Multiple build on TITANX protocols have held top 10 on Ethereum for days and weeks straight. Volt, Viper, etc. Plus 412% against Ethereum with the whole market crashing. The whole world market was crashing and TITANX was running. We had our own little bull run during the world collapse, essentially. Plus 422% against USD. Fully fair launch community first ethos, the best DeFi farms in existence, hyperdeflationary tokenomics after fair distribution stage, going omnichain via X28, all feeding back to the Ethereum core. The best builders in DeFi building on our ecosystem, 1 to 2 streams a day, 20 plus content creators, only 18,000 users. The biggest burners haven't even kickstarted / launched yet. X28 Shogun. $35 million plus sitting in buy and burns across the ecosystem. Multiple 10x, 30x, and 100x protocols have launched on top of TITANX. 1 to 2% of Ethereum volume runs through our ecosystem. 1 to 2% of all of Ethereum runs through our ecosystem. We have so much building and innovation going on that we have our own community build, CoinMarketCap, TITANXHub.com, a capitalism and meritocracy first ethos, a DEX / aggregate that will buy and burn TITANX, Morpheus as well. Multilateral ecosystem lending is incoming with Ouroboros, and we have Shogun incoming. Yeah, that's a pretty decent list, and it's only some of the items because I have like an even longer bullet point list. Put it into perspective.
It's a good feeling.
Right?
I'm gonna be honest, and it's only going to get more thick, and it's going to be like, how do I keep these good bullet points, but how do I keep adding more bullet points to it? Because like those bullet points aren't going to go away necessarily. Some might change, but you're just going to keep adding more and more to it.
Man, especially now, because the only FUD item people have is the unstaking event that everybody turned into a big thing, which is such a small thing. Like it doesn't even matter, because like I think there's like 12 trillion stakes coming out. 95% of them just hold. A lot of people just sniped the 369 payout, me included. I just staked and sniped the 369, and I'm not selling. A lot of people did that. Most of the sell pressure was from whales, Volt whales, and Dragon X whales. 90% plus of the dump came from that. They're all out. All of their tokens are out. The RSI is at the same level it was every time we hit a bottom. The all-time low is at the same RSI levels as today. We have Shogun coming up. X28 is live. And after that, what is there to FUD? They'll have nothing to grab on anymore. It's just a hyper-deflationary builder ecosystem with badass tokenomics and badass builders.
What? Yeah. Do we know what is next? When USDX is that coming next?
He's close, because I was watching his Telegram. He's going through final testing now for the lending protocol. Final audit, because he's doing multiple
for ORX now.
For Ouroboros.
Yeah. USDX.
Yeah, I'm surprised how few people minted Ouroboros.
Same. It's actually great game theory. It's just, I don't know why. Maybe too long. I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe because the lending protocol was not there yet. I can understand that. But the minter,
I was
is always
thinking,
going to be open. People can still mint later.
Yeah, the second it launches, I'm expecting another rush of mints happening. Or when staking comes out, I'm sure a lot of people will go rush to mint. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. Yeah, because Ouroboros is a great idea. It's a great idea. It's essentially a hyper-deflationary token that you can stake to earn lending fees of the protocol and USDX liquidations. So you can stake USDX and you can stake ORX. It's hyper-deflationary. The buy and burn hasn't triggered yet because supply isn't out yet. It's literally useless to trigger it now. And there's probably not going to be that much supply of ORX. If nobody mints, that just means it's incredibly, incredibly scarce for a massive platform. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think mints are unlocking today, actually. I'm going to look.
Exactly. I think some of the ETH part unlocking is started already, and the TITANX part, I'm not so sure. I think the first one has to be, I mean, it's like 28 days. I haven't checked yet.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. My internet's super slow right now.
Yeah,
Tell
but
me about it.
he is doing like final testing now and going to the audit, so it is going to be launching very soon. I've been texting with him back and forth, so definitely, yeah, looking forward to that, man. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's going to be big because X28 is probably also going to be supported once the liquidity gets thicker.
No
Well,
doubt.
that's be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is something definitely like the multi-collateral part of it, which you can just add different things like DragonX, TITANX, X28. I think that's the powerful thing about this, because most of these stuff, if you just fork liquidity, let's say, like you can only do with one thing. Is like you could have just added TITANX, and now TITANX is becoming X28, which is more or less the same thing, and then you could have had that problem already. Like TITANX now is the X28, but now both things can be listed essentially as a collateral.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the protocol, the way he set it up is every form of collateral has its own collateral. So let's say, for example, one of the 10 tokens goes down 50%. It doesn't drag everything else down with it because it has its own collateral held, etc. So you only get liquidated if your token specifically goes down. That's really good design because then you don't have systemic risk from one thing having a dip. That's a great idea.
I didn't quite follow that. So like, if you create, you're talking about like you create collateral with 10 tokens, and you're saying, like, how does that work? Is it just not just add up all 10 tokens and that's your total backing or collateral? Or
so the way I understood it, so let's say you have TITANX, DragonX, Helios. Let's use these three. So you have collateral of TITANX, collateral of DragonX, collateral of Helios. So let's say DragonX drops 60%, TITANX and Helios stay the same. Let's use that as an example. Only the DragonX and those vaults will be able to be liquidated with the USDX to get it back to peg, while all the collateral health ratios still stay at that specific asset's collateral ratio. So one collapse of one thing doesn't create systemic liquidation across all assets. It's hard to explain it simply, but was that simple enough?
so you're only getting partially liquidated in that scenario.
Well, if you're doing DragonX in that scenario, you could be fully liquidated if you only had 100% health. But the TITANX and Helios guys wouldn't get affected at all. Does that make sense?
Okay. So yeah, but I'm understanding this. Can you have a single position with all three as collateral, or you just have to make three different positions?
They're
Three
fully
different positions,
isolated.
Okay. Now I get it.
They're fully isolated. What you get, the USDX is the same, but they're fully isolated as far as I understood it.
And if you minted with TITANX, it's claimable in a day and a half. So we'll probably see a lot of price movement pretty quickly.
Oh, you mean? Oh, is the 28 day coming up soon? A day and a half, you said?
My timer is showing a day and a half, and I was a day one mentor, so
Gotcha.
the ROI is showing 1,000%. So people are going to be claiming.
But the thing is, like, when you claim, you forfeit exactly, right? Because you're not going to get the full allocation.
A ton. Yeah. And that's what Jake's saying. It's great game theory to see. Like, it's the full supply is definitely not going to hit the market. People are going to be burning.
Yes.
So
I think it's great theory. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like, I don't know, like Jesus who's floating in some.
Yeah, I feel like I should do this more often. It's kind of cool. You can kind of see, like,
Yeah,
you can see the beer.
I can see the beer, man. I'm telling you that.
I was gonna type in earlier headless horseman, but the only thing we could see was your head, so I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Something to do. Have fun today. You know, like my spirits are still very high with TITANX. Like everything that's going on, I'm just so excited for. Like it was great to see Ali just like when he popped in, he was like, oh my God, like he's just like his head's exploding with too much bullishness. I'm sure it's hard for him. Sorry.
It's incredibly hard to be bearish with X28.
Yeah.
Just one thing built on top of that, man. It just mats. You know the mat. Remember that saying?
Yeah.
The mat just mats. Is that simple?
Yeah. It is. It really is that simple, man. Like it's. Maybe I'm just a math guy, so it's easy for me. But I don't know. I think most of the time there's just too much emotion in crypto in general. I think that's really a big part of the volatility is just emotion.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you see like BTC running up and probably people chasing that as well. I mean, that's also part of the game as well, right? People chasing stuff. Because I think BTC today, it overtook the market cap of silver. That's also crazy, man.
Yeah, it almost hit 90K.
It's like, damn.
Yeah, and you know, people will cycle into the kind of big boys and then slowly cycle right back into alts. It happens every time. It's once they see it go off a little bit, they're like, oh, shiny thing over there. And then they're like, oh, I guess I only got 20% on that or whatever they're getting. And then they drop back into lower altcoins and everything. So I'm excited for that. It's just going to benefit TITANX even more. And, you know, people don't realize the more they dump, these contracts are just gobbling them up. Like it's not even remotely close to affecting my day. You know, my dad said, you know, you guys TITANX dropped like crazy. What do you think? I said, perfect. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, let the contracts eat it up. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I said, people are going to buy it. I said, God knows I DCA'd today. I was like, I bought a little bag too. Not financial advice.
Did you just rug or something? I don't know. I didn't hear the last sentence.
Oh, I said not financial advice. I said I all like you. I see this price 6 zeros anything, and I had to DCA. It's impossible for me to not DCA.
Yeah, I think early on I was on a call and then I saw the big red candle on DragonX. I was like, oh, what is this? And I was like, hey man, while I was on the call, I was buying the dip. Like buying the dip, buy the red candles. No financial advice.
Yeah. Sometimes it just feels like the right time, you know? Because I also DCA'd a little bit. I was like, man, this is too good. This is too good.
Know. It's just like just something, man.
Right?
Yeah. So
I mean, for about 2-3 months, we were all wishing it was back into this, you know, 6-0 range, like mid 6-0 range or whatever. So right when I saw that, I was like, you know, I don't got any limit orders or anything, so I'm just buying right off the market. I don't care.
Yeah. Buying off the
I mean, Shogun also is not far away at all.
Yeah, man, this
just audit, and it's not overly complex code, so I don't think the audits are going to take long. I'm going to try to do 2 audits. But we know how to do these contracts because usually a lot of the audits find stuff in the buy and burns. But buy and burns are basically all bread and butter at this point. At this point, we know how to do that with our eyes closed. The Shogun contract itself is not. I think the most complicated part is probably the TITANX stakes, but it's liquid. But not much can go wrong there because you're interacting with another contract that's triple audited. Yeah, I think the audits are going to go very quick for Shogun.
So Jake, how are you gonna? I mean, okay, maybe you cannot show it really, but how are you gonna list the different stakes? Let's say if somebody has like 10 stakes or something, it's like, is that like, can you multiple select ones, or like how did you fix the UI stuff like that?
Yeah, so there's going to be 2 tables. So on the bottom of the page on TITANX, you can see your active miners, matured miners, ended miners. That's essentially just going to be 2 tables. One is your auctions. So that's like the history of your auction entries. So like if you entered on day 1, it's going to show that. If you entered on day 7, it's going to show that. And then the second part of the table, which only shows if you click on it, is transform stakes. And then you'll be able to batch select stakes or single select stakes to enter the auction. And then you'll see all the calculations at the top of the UI.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you have a table where you can select one or multiple ones, and then you're gonna be shown, okay, this is how much TITANX you need to enter the auction.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be attractive because people are going to see the auction ROI and the staking table as well. Like, hey, if you transform the stake, here's the auction ROI at the right side. Like you have miner ROI there, that's replaced by auction ROI. And then you also have it at the top. Yeah, it's going to be sticky. I like the UI a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, but ideally after 28 days, then the stakes will be removed because you won't be able to use them for entering the auction anymore. And then the UI is just super clean. Just your auctions at the bottom, liquid X28 to enter, all the calculations at the left, like how much has entered auction today, etc., how much is coming out. Yeah, and then there's a buy and burn page, stats page. The stats is going to be very interesting to watch with the arbitrage bots. Yeah, UI is going to be very simple for people to understand. And then if the people don't have X28, there's going to be a link to create X28 as well on Shogun.
Gotcha. The question is, okay, maybe this is too much actually, but could you just not add that feature directly in the website as well? Because it's just an input essentially, right?
We could.
Just do the transformation there, like essentially.
Yeah, we could. It's a good idea.
Yeah, because it's just like essentially just an input with the button.
I'm writing it down.
Or maybe even probably the easier part would be like, I don't know, just a switch or something, whatever, like input Titan. I mean, anyway, you'll figure it out, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to get adoption into X28, so I'm forcing people over.
Yeah. I mean,
after they see Shogun, they're like, okay, fuck it, this is worth figuring it out for 20 seconds. It's like too good of a deal to pass up, you know? It's like, oh, fuck it, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. They're like, all right, let me get in here and then read the white paper overnight or something like that, you know?
And the white paper is also going to be very simple, just 1 page, like X28. I like the 1-page white papers. I think we should make that a thing. I like it a lot.
Just 1 page, yeah?
Yeah, because you get so many questions in Telegram, like, hey, where is this in the white paper? And it's like 4 columns down, like paragraph number 3 in that 4th column. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna. I understand if people miss it, you know, because it's not like a first page. But if it's 1 page, it's just like I go here, and people can scroll through it.
I mean, there's definitely a thing about that. I was just chatting with Super Shadowy here from Ouroboros. He wrote me something because I told him like, hey man, I'm on stream now. Give me some alpha. What should I say? So he wrote something here. Maybe can I read it out? Yeah.
Sure.
For the Super Shadowy, yeah. So he mentioned that the reason volatility has been godsend because I've been monitoring the USDX Oracle, which were pre-deployed to mainnet for DragonX and TITANX. So this is something I think he launched it 2 or 3 weeks ago, just the oracles, because part of the whole system, like the oracles are the most important thing. So he's been monitoring that for the last week or so. And he's saying they're behaving exactly as expected with all the correct pricing data and the pricing deviation reporting, which will help to keep safe, basically, on the mainnet. And in addition, being able to eyeball the data visually is helping me define verifiably safe parameter settings for collaterals on the mainnet. And then additional to that is that the first USDX audit came back with essentially no issues. But he is adding another time box, the 1 week review with Pajov. Hopefully, yeah, I think Pajov is one of the auditors who also audited Titan Farms, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, which is ongoing this week. And if that one also comes back clean, there is nothing holding us back from mainnet at that point.
Hell yeah, that's good. Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, just stress testing. That's all we're doing today.
And he just wanted to add something as well. So in total, there were 6 auditors on USDX. That's what he also wrote.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even want to comprehend the amount of money he spent in audits. It's no doubt the most complex project we've seen come out so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was telling him to put a Genesis in because he did I think 0% Genesis, and now he's trying to get a DAO vote through. That guy deserves to make some money. God damn it, that's a very complex protocol.
No, the vote went through. So yeah, he got he got his Genesis on it. Yeah.
Good.
So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, hey, but we have 100% buy and burn on RX, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. People are already like, when buy and burn, they're already crying to turn it on. It's like we haven't even started. Chill.
They're still minting. Relax.
Yeah.
Dude, it's insane. And then usually it's the first thing when they come into a Telegram.
Yeah.
It's the first thing when buy and burn, or why so little, or why not more, or why are you doing this?
And the wild part to me is
the funniest part with the buy and burns is always like then a month later they're like, fuck, that was actually genius, you were right.
Exactly. Every single time. Yeah, the best sailors are always on shore, so yeah.
Yeah, I also think it's funny that you got to remember most of the people like are between 30 and 60 years old that are in crypto in general. So it's like these are grown, for the most part, grown men just in telegrams like, why aren't we doing this or why aren't we doing that? I'm like, look, how can we have 20-year-olds more mature than 50-year-olds in here? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Fair point. It's the boomers, man. It's the boomers again.
Hey, I love them. You know, I love all the community members. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just need to earn their stripes in crypto. Because like even during this correction, fucking zero worry. Like I've been through so many 70%, 80% corrections all the time. It's like an average Tuesday in crypto. Because I was looking at one of the there's a huge meme coin. It's like 800 million market cap. It dropped 95% in the first week. It dropped 80% in the third week. It dropped 75% in the fifth week. It dropped 60% the week after. Then it dropped another 70%. And then it dropped another 80%, and then it went up. And in total, it did 1000x.
Mm-hmm.
We had to withstand multiple 60% plus drops in a period of 5 months.
Yeah.
So like this is just crypto. It's part of the game. And if you sell every day, one of the biggest things that people need to get rid of is you cannot go into a bull market with a bear market mindset, because that's how you lose money.
Correct.
And the bull market mindset is dip is opportunity, and a bear market is dip is panic.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a bull market, man. Like you have to like switch up the mindset, because a lot of us have been around for the bear market. But I'm very quick to switch the mindset. Like bull market mindset on.
Oh.
That's it. Only bull market mindset.
Yeah, now literally every dip is for buying, like literally. And I think we talked about it a couple of streams ago when people were asking, are we still early? I just bought the local top. If you zoom out at previous performance in charts, that top that you supposedly bought in the position that you're in right now, if you take the whole chart, you don't even see it as a blimp. It's literally a flat line. But that person thinks he's buying the top right there. There's still so much to come. It's insane what crypto can do.
Yeah, it's the same with Ethereum. You roll that back all the years, it's gone through several massive dips, and look where it's at today.
I mean, last cycle we could we could still get ETH under 100K or $100. That's
That was, yeah, in 2018. Yeah, I bought some $100 ETH. That's for damn
Same.
sure.
Yeah, dude, not bad.
We got 2 times the chance to do it. Yeah, 18 and was it 20? No, because in 18 it went to what, $1,000 and then back down to 80.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, because I thought I was buying the bottom on Bitcoin at 6K, and then it dropped to 3K, and then it was
Right.
like, that was my welcome to crypto moment. You know, like half of my portfolio got slaughtered when I thought I was buying the bottom, and I was like, my stomach dropped, and then now I'm just like, I'm impervious at this point.
I mean,
Yeah, you
look how
stood the test of time.
Look at how quickly things can change. For example, on TITANX, if you were able to catch the bottom, that's 71% in 3 hours.
Yep.
That's like
Nailed it.
Bitcoin dropping to, so for, let's say 90K, it drops from 90K to 60K and then goes from 60K to 102K. We did that in 3 hours.
Crazy.
Correct. And now people are cheering that XRP went up 5%. Could you imagine?
Right.
It's morning.
You know, it's funny because my buddy, he is XRP army to death, and nothing I say will change that. I mean, I've had easily over 100 conversations with this guy, and he's like, dude, I'm telling you, dude, this is gonna, you know, that's the kind of guy he is. And he texts me every single time it goes up. He's like, see, I told you. And I'm like, nice, man. It's sick. Like, keep making those gains. Like,
Yeah, keep killing it.
Yeah, you're already 100x ahead. Oh, you got 20%. Good for you, brother. Nice.
I told him about every step of the way in TITANX, and you know, like I didn't have a crazy bag in Dragon X, but geez, did that run up feel great,
Right.
You know? And I told him, I was like, man, just get something in here. I was like, you can't lose if you get a little bit in the way early days. And you know, he said, wow, that's crazy. He was like, you know, I just bought 100 more XRP, and I'm like, man, okay, all right. I just told you about this like 50x real quick, and you're talking about buying 100 XRP. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, let's go into a coin with an infinite supply. Perfect.
XRP was great 2017, 2018, man. I made
Yes.
a lot of gains with that. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
I did too. I'm not shitting on XRP. I think, you know, if they do what they're saying they're doing, awesome. That'd be sick. But
yeah. I mean, I don't believe them anymore, but I mean, I was very happy 2018 when back then.
I still got my flare on Coinbase. I never would have expected them to do the flare airdrop on Coinbase, but yeah, I kept the bag and I got my flare. Never thought that would happen. I still have all my copies from the BTC fork as well. Golly, BTC H, BTC. Oh man, how many do we get then? Golly. And it's worth dust right now. Like pennies on the dollar, man. Golly.
Yeah, it was like a whole cycle of Craig Wright is not Satoshi. Like,
yeah,
Craig Wright. Oh,
People actually, that actually made me lose faith in people. That people actually believe that. It's like just sign a transaction from the fucking wallet. It takes 20 seconds to do.
I mean, that's why I couldn't believe my eyes. It's like literally, there's 20 seconds. There's thing mathematically you can prove it with no doubt.
Yeah.
And these
no, but he wants to go to court and drag it out and all these things. Like,
right,
so dumb.
Right.
He was forced by the court to say that he's not Satoshi, right? He had to write it on Twitter and everywhere.
Yeah, I think it was like posted on his website as a disclaimer as well. Like,
that was the best thing ever happened.
Yeah, I remember seeing that tweet pass by him. I'm like, oh, Okay, that's funny.
I was like, I thought it was fake or something first.
I mean, he will now be solidified as the guy, not Satoshi. That's probably better than Satoshi.
Yeah, we've ruled one guy out now. Yeah.
100%.
All right, it's really narrowing it down.
Arthur's formerly known as Satoshi.
Yeah, we are all Satoshi apart from Greg Wright, man.
That's a good one.
Man, I'm looking at these charts. That's crazy. 70%. Like, that's yeah,
Incredibly juicy.
yeah.
Hey, we're in a bull market. Dip
Yep.
R4.
Bye. Or UC3 if you can't stomach it. Helps a lot.
Yeah. The way I always say it to my dad, and he kind of took this to heart, is if you look at your portfolio one day, because I like him tracking his portfolio like once a month.
Mhm.
And then I just see a nice uptrend during a bull market. But if you look at it day to day, it looks like hell. But if you look at it month to month, you're like, holy fuck, actually, I gained 100% this month.
Yeah.
And then, because it feels like forever, right? For a month.
Right.
So he does that. And then, whenever he's like, oh shit, there's a dip. I'm like, okay, if you close your eyes for a week and then the price is above where it was, or like similar to where it was, and you open your eyes again, did the dip ever actually happen?
Right.
Was that dip real? No,
Yeah.
It wasn't. It's just real because you're looking at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally
like
moment in time.
Yeah, it's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there, does it make a sound? It's like
Yeah,
if the
exactly.
dip, if there's a dip and no one sees it on the chart, does it happen?
Yeah. Did it exist?
So what
mean-
advice do you give to people who have deck screener open 24/7?
Yeah.
Close it. Close it.
Guilty.
Man, imagine the roller coaster today.
Yes.
Oh shit, we're fine.
I don't know. I always have a deck screener tab open. Yeah, I've got 3 screens, and
Mhm.
one screen is just deck screener always. Like,
Yeah,
We
but
need a
would-
cartoon meme where, I don't know, Roadrunner jumps off a cliff and then gets on a trampoline and he's right back where he started and moves on across the cliff. And then TITANX, shoo, 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 and we go on again. Love it.
it's easy to watch if you just understand the fundamentals. Is really what it is. Like, if you don't know anything about TITANX or just any tokens, but like TITANX specifically, it's easy to see if you know what's coming. Like, again, like, yeah, people don't understand what X28 is going to do as far as burning TITANX. Like, they'll see.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are just numb because we've been around crypto for so long. Like whenever I see a dip, I'm just like, it's just numb. There's zero emotions.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And then you're like, wait, am I becoming a psychopath? Like zero emotional reaction. And then you get like a message from your friend and he's like freaking out. And you're like, how do I even respond to this? So I just ignore it for like an hour and then, is everything okay?
Well, I think most of the people are just late cycle. So if you come into crypto when everything is on its way down and you still got to endure 3.5 years of bear market, that's brutal. If you never experienced a bull run yet, and all you have experienced the past 5 years is pretty much keep DCA, man. Yeah. Sorry, miss. I will keep DCA. And the missus is going after you with. You said it was going up. So, yeah.
You said this one was different.
You said 2 more weeks.
And then at the bottom of a bear market, you're like, we're waiting for the exchange collapse. A big exchange needs to go down. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You'll see. Because I was waiting for it. I was waiting for a big exchange to collapse. I didn't expect it to be FTX, but I was waiting for one.
Yeah.
Every bottom of the market, there's always a massive exchange that just explodes.
Yep.
And I'm like, because everybody was so scared. And I was like, this is it. This is the bottom. There's no other bottom. This is it. There's no tomorrow. Yeah, they're so perfectly played out because like every cycle is like a perfect fractal, just with different labels and different names, but it all fractals so perfectly. Like I've been around for 3 bear markets and 2 bull markets. A little bit of 2017 was a little bit. I wasn't that experienced in crypto. But I've pretty much seen it all at this point. And the exchange collapses is the perfect pico bottom always. And especially if it happens a year after the top. Oh my god, like that was like written in the stars. That was such a perfect bottom. Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't believe that the latest one, in my opinion, was the most obvious one. While everybody thought we were going way lower. That made no sense to me. This last bottom of Bitcoin, I remember going on my buddy's stream and another guy's stream. I didn't really stream that much, but I got on screen to tell this is the bottom. It was so obvious, at least to me. If you know your 4-year cycles, then. And I could not believe that people were still arguing for lower than 10K. And I was like, okay, yeah, fine by me. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
On a side note, BTC is at 88,000.
Insane.
TITANX coded.
Yep.
88,208 right now.
Yep. I think we said it last week on stream as well. That don't fade Bitcoin. If it goes, it goes. It teleports and it doesn't leave you behind. It's literally like it raises a ladder and then creates a new horizontal ladder and then another ladder out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's no way you can like time this, man. It's like
No.
it's like you just can't.
You got to be ready. Yeah. You got to be in it to win it.
The best way by far to play these markets is just time.
Yeah.
You get in around the bear market bottom. You get out around the bear market top.
Correct.
That's it. That's the entire game. And then everything that happens in between, don't give a fuck. Just be in good stuff. That's the entire game.
Technically, you can, after you sold, put your alarm clock at a year. Then you wake up, you reinvest. Then you go on a holiday for 2 years, go to the Bahamas or something. And then you open up your crypto again. And the chances are that you bought that bottom 2 years ago, didn't participate in crypto whatsoever, and made money. Yeah, perfect. Because usually the first deepest correction we get is usually the ultimate low. It will almost never go lower than that. So you literally only have 2 times. You have a 2-week window where you go out, and you have about 3-4 week window where you can get in. The bottom is usually about 3 to 4 weeks, and the top is about 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's actually one more.
6 weeks
like
out of 4
Bitcoin,
years.
because that's the Bitcoin cycles. Ethereum usually runs 2 months after Bitcoin tops,
Yeah.
and that's when altcoins go absolutely parabolic. It's after Bitcoin tops and Ethereum keeps running that 2-month window. That's like the go off top of the bull run. Same thing happened last bull run, and the bull run before that. Man, I remember 2017. Holy sh!
Same.
No, 2020. 2020 was insane. Like that last 2 months, it was like teleport. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I was catching
17 was
everywhere. Everywhere
Right.
catching X's. It was insane.
Yeah.
You could literally just throw a dart. That was so crazy. Yeah, I remember that. And that was
17
the
was
last
even
one
better.
after Bitcoin topped.
Yeah. Because 17, we only had what? I believe it was 3,800 coins. And back then you could literally throw a dart. It didn't matter what you bought. It was literally like the .com mania, the first months of .com. Just create a website, you'll make money. Just buy a crypto, you'll make money.
You actually bring
it-
up a great
it
point.
was.
Yeah, 100%. This market is way different. There's like 100 tokens created almost every hour at this point. So at this point, you really need quality products with communities that stick around. Communities that stick around is the most important part. Yeah. Now you need to be way more picky. But even in 2020, you could throw a dart anywhere. Now, if you throw a dart anywhere, there's like a 99.99% chance you're going to get rugged in the first 5 minutes. It's so insane.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice throwing darts at the TITANX ecosystem, in my opinion, because it still is throwing darts at the end of the day. But just got a little more guidance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I should have done
I
more.
like hypothetical things. There's just something that feels so good in your soul. when you know something is going hyperdeflationary or it is hyperdeflationary, it's just so much easier on your mind. Because like, hey, tomorrow there's going to be less of the tokens than there are today.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Yep.
Now the TITANX community, they're addicted to the buy and burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
I love it.
It's just like Matrix, right? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's going to continue to. You can't shut your eyes at that point. You know too much.
Yeah, and then you look at other stuff and you're like, wait, this doesn't have a buy and burn. It's like, this does not make sense.
Where did all this money go? What the?
Yeah.
Just go to the developers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Feces.
All right, I think I'm gonna call it for the day. I gotta get some food in me. Yeah, I enjoyed the chat with you guys.
Same. Yeah,
Lovely.
I'm getting hungry as well. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Hey, dude, when you want to come on the channel, talk E369, just let me know.
Yeah, we need to do that this week. I'll shoot you a DM.
All right, cool.
All right. Yeah, same with you, Mike. I'll shoot you a DM as well.
No worries. Yep.
All right, cool. Y'all have a good one.
There was a lot of urgency in that this week.
Mhm.
Is it that close?
Oh yeah. It might be this weekend. We'll see.
Oh, this weekend already. I thought next.
One of the two. It'll be on a weekend. If it's not this weekend, it'll be next weekend. We'll say that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No worries.
That's a good alpha drop right before you leave.
Yeah.
He's like, this week. I'm like, wait, there's something there.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'll see y'all.
See you guys.
Cheers.
All right.
Peace.
No worries.
Next Sunday.
So for the people watching the replay, in the first 30 minutes of the stream, we went very deep into Shogun. So I would highly recommend watching the replay at the beginning. And then after like 45 minutes to an hour, we just started shooting the shit about crypto.
Exactly.
Like the first 30 to 45 minutes, there was a lot of alpha. Like if you want to really figure out Shogun and the ecosystem and X28, yeah, the first 30 to 45 minutes were golden. Do you guys have any closing stuff for the stream?
No, I missed the first part, but I'll catch up once I start making my shorts and rewatch 10 minutes of video over and over and over and over. I love making shorts, man, golly. Yeah, no, really, no, just excited for the whole ecosystem, and it's clearly that everything is starting to move right now, so now is not the time to be bearish. It's exactly what Jack says. Now it's pretty much every dip is there for buying, and if you truly can't stomach it, just go away. Come back in 3 weeks. Like I said, watch your portfolio every 3 or 4 weeks, then you're perfectly fine. Because the urge not to sell is your hardest, your hardest thing to overcome at the upcoming weeks, months. Because the only way you can get a 10,000x is by not selling.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can add to that is, just play it slow down. Do not make any rash decisions. Jake said it perfectly one time. He says, if I feel like I need to do something right now, it's not the time to do it. Just give it an hour, give it 2 hours, like just sit on your hands, relax. And the only other personal thing I can add is Flare Win on Telegram. I'm going to be hopefully dropping the white paper this week. I wanted 1,000 people in there, so if we can jump in there as hard as we possibly can, that'd be awesome. But yeah, the alpha I dropped on that is built on Inferno using Phoenix stakes. Hopefully Phoenix is out by the time I'm out. But nonetheless, I'm really bullish on not only Flare, but obviously the entire TITANX ecosystem. And I'm going to try to start doing like mega lives in like weekly or bi-weekly fashion. So, panels of 9, whatever the case may be, and just do kind of like mini year conferences like every other week or something like that. I think the vibes during that was so awesome. So if we can just continuously do that, get 10 people to stream it on all their different channels on Twitter, YouTube and stuff. And so I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of people for that. And yeah, I'm just so bullish, and I was happy as hell about the dip today. I'm not even going to lie. I was looking forward to a good buying opportunity, and buying 501 felt felt okay, but 6 zeros and 6, that feels way better.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Awesome. I mean, for me, this is like my personal thing, essentially. So no financial advice. DCA, the red candles, hold, believe, and contribute. And one of my contribution is obviously me running the TITANX hub, trying my best to keep things there running as good as possible. On Friday, the TITANX hub DEX aggregator launched. Everything is working fine. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Things are working. People are using it. So thank you for that. Thank you for the support and the trust so far. And there is a lot of in the pipeline with TITANX Hub. A lot of things, a lot of ideas, working as hard as possible to make things forward. That's like part of my contribution. And obviously, Matrix.win, more alpha coming very, very soon. The UI is almost done, and just polishing up some few things. And gonna be going to audits hopefully this week, but I would say probably next week or so. I'm trying to push it as hard as possible. So, but there are some few things which I'm, I mean, I'm doing a lot of testing, so I just want to make sure like everything is in the correct order. There is definitely a bit of anxiety with all the testing. Is everything really working? Writing things down, doing all the testing, like triple, quadruple testing, everything, did I miss something? Did I just want to make sure before the audits that I also just go through everything and check so that, essentially that. So that's my 2 cents, my 2 sats, I like to say. Thank you.
Yeah, man, looking forward to it. Let's go.
You, Doxon.
Lovely. Bye-bye.